Mawson Stars presents. We are going to get straight into it. So, the last few days have been pretty hectic, actually. Track was pretty good last Thursday, and this weekend was a bit of a busy one because we had our first event. So I'm just going to get straight into it. So if you don't know, I started to plan the creative direction around, hosting our first event and the why. I think there's been lots of conversation. I've seen brands and agencies kind of having, like launches with conversation with key stakeholders from the run community. And I thought, well, why don't we step up and get into action? So we had some ideas, and then I kind of facilitated making it come to life. So I thought very long and hard about having the panelists. On the men's panel, we had Marcus Brown, 6-star finisher. He's done some work with Abbott, and he's got his own podcast and Runners Live. He's also a Lurf and surf coach, and he's also started to coach runners, helping some of them achieve sub 3 at London last year. Amrit is another 6-star finisher, so he's done all the World Marathon Majors, and he's currently the Tracksmith community manager, doing a great job there. Andre Coggins is the founder of the community Mafia Moves, and he also is very much within action and community at his sort of day job at On. On the second panel, we have Sabrina, who's a author and trustee and co-founder of Black Trail Runners, also a coach, public speaker. We have Tasha, who's the founder of Black Girls Do Run, an absolutely inspiring character that you can see at the running show and at lots of events. And then finally, we have Sahra-Isha, who is the founder of ASRA Club, which is a Muslim women's only run club and safe space. So these are the names that I felt that could really help within the conversation of change and community. And they're also within the work of, actually being tastemakers or change makers for the future, actually laying foundations within their work. We did have to pivot because we did have plans to have an electronic sound bath and a yoga class, but we had to sort of cut the run of show a little bit short because we were going to run into the sort of key trading hours of when there would be, football fans, because the West Ham game was on. So we had to pivot and chop down a little bit and make the talks a bit shorter. Co-captain Sophie and Jason, they led out the shakeout run. We had about 50 invitees, which was great. The maximum capacity was 70, so we had a few no-shows and some people who didn't have tickets that attended. So we went out for the shakeout run, then we got back. And then we sort of went straight into the talks with Amrit, Marcus and Andre. And we just had a very honest conversation of early years, growing up. What did that look like? Barriers, learnings, failure, success. And it was definitely quite eye-opening to hear honest and authentic stories of, where people have come from. Because I think you can very quickly edit and fast forward to the now and the successes. But I think building the foundations and the structure and the learning part in people's earlier years, whether it be through teens or early career into adulthood, that can be really insightful to understand the why. And it was really interesting to hear how these community leaders, are key stakeholders, disruptors and decision makers of the future within this culture of running. So I think we're definitely in some safe hands. We had a quick reset and then stepped up to the plate with Sabrina, Sahra-Isha, and then we had Tasha. And the energy was great, and the vibration in the room was just quite playful and honest and open. And again, it was just more conversations about, background and upbringing, and, just more sort of trailblazing and, just constantly going back to let's get into action and let's make our own table. This is how we make and create our own equity. And it was just really authentic to hear these stories. You can kind of meet people on runs or at events, and sometimes you might not get that sort of 360 insight. So super proud. Simon Roberts took the pictures. If you need a photographer, Simon is 100% recommended. I would just say I'm just really, really grateful and try to stay really grounded, hosting both talks and, just overseeing everything throughout the day with the support of co-captains and the volunteers. So everything was well executed, and, the venue have invited us back. So we are going to get into action for what Series 2 looks like. After that, I got a long run in with a friend, Mark Goodrun. We're both doing London Marathon, so we got about 17 miles in the legs, and also with the shakeout run, I got an extra 2 in. So a very good weekend overall. So today I had to get up early again. Bit of a common theme at the weekends for me, and I led out the BTR run, the social run in North London. We did the Parkland Walk, which is a really great trail run and accessible hike or sort of walking route. We started at Finchley Park, and then we sort of made our way all the way up to Ali Pali. Really nice to see returning faces, familiar faces, new faces, people who've never done trails before, people who've never moved with BTR. So it's really humbling to share that space, to lead, and, you know, to really show to people that, you know, you can enjoy running and not have to exert so much energy. We got to Finchley Park, we sort of had a decompress, a bit of a stretch and a coffee, and then we actually ran back. So we got 8 miles in the legs. So I'm rounding off with a good solid 56-mile week. Feeling pretty good. I went to the gym, I think, on Saturday or Friday, one of the 2 days. But yeah, having some early starts. I'm a little bit tired, but overall, really looking forward to next week. Yeah, London Marathon 7 or 8 weeks away, so I'm definitely going to lean into that. There's been quite a few interesting things that I've seen online that I think I'll probably dive into. But overall, training is going good. Yeah, just been overwhelmed with all the shares and the comments and the feedback about the event, and really nice to be able to sort of facilitate and have some free reign and creative direction with this project, which we will kind of see how it will unfold. But yeah, overall, really grateful, really happy. Yeah, overall, I think a lot of learnings, definitely tweaks and things that we can do better. Listen to some of the feedback that we've already heard with regards to trying to record the talks. A bit challenging when you're trying to host, manage, and be on the panel, sound engineer. Yeah, lots of moving parts, and it's a big moving feast. But overall, the feedback that I've heard from people and the vibrations I've got, that it was good and great, and it brought people together, and having people in the room, a lot of people got to meet in real life as opposed to, you know, maybe just connecting online, and that was quite powerful. So yeah, just really looking forward to sort of having a few good weeks of, you know, no events, no super early starts, focusing on training, because we do get into the business end for London Marathon. So yeah, heart full, cup full. Overall, excited to start a new week. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this, like and subscribe. Any questions or pertinent topics that you'd like me to cover, please let me know. Monster Stars presents